Are you thinking about making a move to Redondo Beach, California? Maybe you're curious about what the cost of living looks like? Be sure to stay tuned because that's what I'm tackling in today's video. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time, I'm glad you're here. My name is Lesli Koontz and I am a local South Bay real estate agent with 𝗖cie International Realty. Now, if you're thinking about making a move to Southern California and you want to be near the beach, you may be looking at the South Bay. There are a few cities that sit on the coast in the area known as the South Bay, known as the beach cities. And from north to south, they are El Segundo, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, and Torrance. You may be wondering, what does the cost of living look like? You may be thinking that since these cities are in close proximity to each other, the cost of living is basically the same, but actually it's not. There are definitely some differences in cost of living in each of these cities. Today, we're tackling Redondo Beach, so let's go ahead and dive on in. So, if you're not from Southern California, you might be confused about what exactly the South Bay is. The South Bay is a region of the Los Angeles metro located in the southwest corner of Los Angeles County. The South Bay contains 15 cities plus portions of the city of Los Angeles and unincorporated portions of the county. The area is bound by the Pacific Ocean on the south and west, and generally by the city of Los Angeles on the north and east. All right, let's dive on in. So if you're thinking about moving to Southern California, and particularly the South Bay, why Redondo Beach? Well, 𝗖cie ranks Redondo Beach as the 8th best city to live in the greater Los Angeles area. And when I say greater Los Angeles area, that's including both Orange and Riverside, San Bernardino counties, as well as Los Angeles County. So placing 8th is no small feat. Now, let's break that down. What gives Redondo Beach that strong rating? Well, it boils down to several common factors. 𝗖cie looks at several factors when evaluating cities, including public schools, crime and safety, housing, nightlife, good for families, diversity, jobs, weather, cost of living, health and fitness, outdoor activities, and commute. And Redondo Beach gets an A+ for 6 of those 12 categories. So you can see there's a lot to love about living in Redondo Beach. I live here and I love it. I actually recently did a video about that very thing. It talks about what I love about Redondo Beach. And if you want to check that out, you can just head right here. So with that said, when you have a place with so much to love, you're going to find many people who are wanting to live in Redondo Beach in the Los Angeles South Bay. And that ultimately is going to drive up the cost of living. So let's dive into those factors a little bit more. When you look at how the cost of living is calculated, a number of things are factored in. Things like the cost of goods and services, transportation, healthcare, and of course, housing. The cost of each of these things is then compared to the national average. If the cost is higher than the national average, you'll see an index above 100. And if the cost is lower than the national average, you'll see an index below 100. You're able to see by category how a place compares, and you also get an overall affordability index. Now, there is some good news in Redondo Beach. The cost of healthcare is lower than the national average with some great hospitals, with an index coming in at 89.4 versus the national average of 100. The cost of utilities is also lower, coming in at 92.6 versus a national average of 100. No surprise, because I talked about our moderate climate in my previous video. However, the overall cost of living in Redondo Beach is high, a whopping 225.9 versus that national average of 100. And the reason for that is the cost of housing. Now, as of February 2021, the average price of a home in Redondo Beach, California is about $1.1 million, whereas in Los Angeles County, the median price is about $700,000, and in California as a whole, about $550,000. So that's a lot to think about because it may feel like, ooh, that's a lot. But again, there are a lot of pros to living in Redondo Beach, and it is still one of the most affordable beach cities in the South Bay, beat only by Torrance. One of the reasons people love living in Redondo Beach is because Redondo Beach does have top-rated public schools. that is one of the areas Redondo Beach received an A+ rating. The other areas that Redondo Beach received an A+ score is good for families, weather, health and fitness, nightlife, and outdoor activities. That, combined with the beauty of the area, the numerous job opportunities in and around Los Angeles, the access to the beach, and all the benefits that come with beach living, those are all reasons people want to live in Redondo Beach. And that, in turn, drives up housing prices. So when you look at the cost of living in Redondo Beach, California, it's actually 50% higher than what the average cost of living is in California as a whole. And actually housing in Redondo Beach is about 5 times higher than the national average. So look, you're going to get pros and cons wherever it is that you live, right? And so again, there are many wonderful things about the Los Angeles South Bay and about Redondo Beach. But when you're making a decision to move to a different state or to a different town or area, you need to know these factors so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. So you've got to know housing in Redondo Beach or anywhere in the South Bay is going to come at more of a premium cost than inland areas of California. When you're looking at homes in Redondo Beach, I think it's really important to understand why you're going to see that higher price point in this area versus other parts of Los Angeles. Okay, so I've given you a lot to think about. And if you're thinking about making a move to Redondo Beach or anywhere in the South Bay of Los Angeles, and you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. All of my contact information is below. I'm Lesli with Lesli Koontz Real Estate, brokered by 𝗖cie Sotheby's International Realty right here in the South Bay. I'll see you next time.